health worries. So, yeah, this is huge. You have fears over your own health and well-being, or that of a relative. That's huge cause of stress. I mean, if your child is sick, or your mom, or your husband, or wife, or something, that's huge. When you don't have, especially for a man, because men like to have control over situations. They like to fix a situation. So when something's like not necessarily fixable, then it can become like the person can withdraw or whatever their coping mechanisms are. And it's like, oh, you're giving up on me, So you have to know about yourself, how you deal with illness and situations and things like that. I've had a lot of people who keep things secret up until the end because they know that it's going to stress out their family, and then they don't have any family support, And then it's like, oh, it's not till the end that everybody finds out, oh, this person was sick, they had this, they had that, or whatever the case may be. And it's just a huge ball of stress. So when you are sick yourself, you do need a support system. You do need to involve your family or friends or whoever the case may be. And when you have somebody who's sick in your life, you do want to be sympathetic to them and try to help and try to be as supportive as you can, because it can be huge. And maybe it's just a small illness that you do overcome, but if it's something that's ongoing, like a chronic injury or illness, we want to make sure you have your support systems. Okay, so stress, you can end up with a cold or flu, cancer, depression, eczema, and other skin disorders. Post-traumatic stress, maybe something awful happened to you years and years ago that your mind keeps reliving, and you're not healed from. Stomach ulcers, there are a lot of people who give themselves ulcers worrying with acid and, and they might drink more alcohol, smoke more cigarettes even. Heart disease, that's huge. And asthma, you can definitely have asthma attacks from like getting unwanted news or, just being in a stressful situation. So how do we manage our stress? Well, everybody's stress level is different. So for me, I feel like I could take a lot of stress. I don't do well with somebody dying, like a loved one dying. It's like, I don't do well with that one. But I can do well with just about any of the rest of them. But there are other people who do fine with death. They're like, oh, this was a good thing, honey. It was great, it was a good death. She needed to go, whatever. And I'm like, oh, I've never had that mind. But some people think like that was actual stress relief for them. Maybe they have an elderly parent or loved one they've been taking care of for years, and it's actually a relief. And then there are other people who it's like, they're stressed out and it seems like there's hardly anything going on. It's like I'm taking one class and it's like, wow, I took 5 classes, had 2 kids, was married and worked full time. You're taking one class? But everybody has their own perception of what stresses them out. So I try not to judge. But you need to avoid stressful situations. So whatever a stressful situation for you is, okay, avoid extremes. So, there are some situations that are just absolutely extreme, absolutely going to be like a deal breaker and could literally emotionally take you down and under. Sometimes you just have to say, nope, not going. Maybe it's a family event. There's this family member who is going to be there. They're going to cause all kind of trouble and turmoil. And maybe just say, you know what, I'm just going to avoid that, skip over that whole thing. Set a realistic goal for yourself. So you don't need to stress yourself out trying to be like perfect in any one area, or like sometimes just overworking. A lot of times people, they don't look at work as stress, but it is. You got to get here. You have to fulfill an obligation. You got to work with people. So if you do that 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, maybe that's not realistic when you're stressed out, when you're already got enough going on. So maybe scale, back if you can. Manage how stress affects you. So it is how you respond is what's going to happen and what's going to make the difference. Like I said, my mother died. I had a nervous breakdown. My friend's mother died, and he was happy and laughing and just day and night. He maybe had one tear out of the whole time. Like, are you kidding me? I was a little annoyed that he was handling it so well. Change how you see the situation. So I had a job where I worked, and it was just it was just like a nightmare. I would get there and I'd be like in the car, like, I hate it here. As soon as I get there, I'd be crying, like, oh God, I don't want to be here. I just hate this job. And then I leave and I cry, and I just said, okay, I have to change my mindset. I'm going to just start saying I love this job. It don't have to be true, but I'm going to start saying it. I love this job. And I wrote down a whole list of things that I loved about the job. Okay, great benefits. Okay, I like my hours. I do like some of my coworkers. I do like helping save people's lives. I do like my pay wage. You know, I have made some lifelong friends. I would just focus on that. And then eventually I actually did really start loving the job. So always try to look for the silver lining in any situation, whether it be good, bad, or different. Look at the good. There's always some good. There's always some good. Even if you're in a black room and you have that little cell phone plugged in and that little dim little light, that's really bright in all that darkness. So you're going to look for whatever it is. Focus on that. Just stay there. Okay? So change how you see it. Set your priorities. So we're going to prioritize what matters the most to you, and then you're going to let go of some things. When you're stressed out, you do have to give up some things. You can't keep doing all the same things and expect a different reaction. Either you have to let go of how you're reacting to the thing, or you have to let go of things that are going to stress you out. Take control of the situation. Discover new relaxation techniques. And I used to always be told, breathe, just breathe. It's huge. Breathing is huge. If you can, and it don't even have to be literally breathing. It just pause. Don't let the situation overwhelm you. And I literally will start thinking about the trees, the birds, the grass, the sky, whatever. When if I start letting the situation just really those racing, flighting thoughts of oh my God, what about this? What about that? Like when my mom was sick, it was just what about this? What else can I try? I mean, I just can't even tell you how much I was thinking. And I had to go outside and be okay, this is bigger than me. I'm very small in the grand scheme of things. This is a very small thing, And I just had to look at the universe, the atmosphere. That's what I do. So you'll find things that help you relax, whether it be a song. Songs can definitely change your mood. They can change it to good. They can change it to really sad. I mean, all of a sudden. So find a mood-changing song that helps you be happy, helps you to relax, helps to take you to that good place. And listen to it. Take 3-4 minutes, listen to the song. Figure out what's most important. So the people who I've talked to who've been really completely stressed out to the point of adrenal fatigue, I say, okay, we got to work. Okay, fine, we got that. So we're not going to pick up any overtime. We're not going to, volunteer to do anything extra. We got to take care of our kids. We got to take care of our spouse. We're going to do just the essentials. So you have some time to sleep. A lot of the stuff is just self-inflicted. It's taking on too many tasks, trying to be everything to everyone. Sometimes you just can't. I used to always try to be everything to everyone. Now I'm hey. Definitely for you guys, I'll be everything you ever need me to be and more. But my brothers and sisters, you got some people who are just clingy and they're users and they will just suck all the energy out of you and they'll take everything. They're called takers. Sometimes you have to cut some of the takers out of your life, and I had to do that. I had to do one at a time. Hey, you, nope, you're off the list. You, yep, no. I mean, it's just constant. You would not believe if you let people leech onto you and make their problems your problems. It becomes very stressful. My brother was just, I can't even tell you, my baby, my wife, it's listen, okay, I had to grow up. You're older than me. You got to figure this thing out. I gave you some good tips. Did you use any of them? I wrote it all down. I mean, I quarterbacked the play completely. Did you do any of it? No? Okay, well, can't help you. Don't talk to me about literally, I had to tell him. Because I was losing sleep, worrying about his marriage and everything else. I'm look, okay, all stuff that you're doing on your own. It's not like your marriage is broken because something different. It's all you. So if you're not going to make those changes, I don't care to even talk about it anymore. So figuring out what's most important is huge. And you know what? I feel much better having let go of a lot of things. I had a lot of guilt because, like I told you, the money thing, if you have too much or you have too little. So it's I have too much for my family. It's I'm a millionaire, even though I would love to see where the money tree is. The thing I have, I should go shake and get the money all the time. But you know what? They have an expectation out of me. It's hey, I need you to pay my rent. It's and I would used to do it. And I was nope, I have nothing. I've got nothing to help anybody with anything at this point. So, and I felt a lot better about it. At first I felt guilty. I felt gosh, I could do it. But you know what? They could do it too. And they're choosing not to. So I can't do for you what you won't do for you. You know? Meditation. I love meditation. I could not do it at first because it's hard. It's hard to just take out time to clear your mind, especially like as a woman. Women are always thinking. Men, you ask them what they're thinking, they say nothing, and it's true. So, no, not really. Men don't think as much as women. I gotta get a laugh or something out of you guys. At any rate, meditation though, if you get time, take out a little time for you, your me time, and do try to meditate. There's actual studies that show that people were on medication, other people were not on medication in a group, and they did meditated guided imagery, and their blood pressure was matching those of the people who were on medication. A lot of times, I think that we in our society is set up for just go. We weren't really built for that. We weren't really built for a lot of the things that we do. And we were supposed to have some downtime. We were supposed to have some quiet time. We weren't supposed to constantly be entertained, constantly with an electronic. So if you get time, whether it's a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you could do, if you're having a lot of stress, just take, you know what, I'm taking 5 minutes. That's not going to change anything in your life. To take 5 minutes away for yourself and relax and just let go and just do nothing, just for 5 minutes of just peace. There's a guided meditation YouTube video link if you guys are interested in that. So the goal of meditation is not to control your thoughts, but it's to stop letting them control you. That's huge. I love that. Because they can control you. They can control how you react, how you respond, what your next move is. Because, you know, sometimes we get so many fears and so much negative self-talk. And like I tell people, if you have a lot of negative self-talk, then just set a timer on your phone and just say, again, 5 minutes. And then that's it. And then do 5 minutes of positive, the exact opposite of whatever it is. If you think like, I'm so fat, then just start thinking, I'm thin, I'm skinny, I'm healthy. Start thinking some good thoughts towards yourself. You'd be very surprised. And there are people who get so far gone in negative thoughts they can't even think of any good thoughts. So, I mean, you can just the opposite. Whatever it is you said about yourself negatively, reverse it. And you'd be surprised how much better you feel about yourself and how much easier life will get for you if you start doing those thoughts. Like I did with the job situation. I actually started liking that job. I was like, yeah, I can do this. But I had to talk myself into it, and I had to retrain how I was thinking. Exercise, this is huge. Exercise, a lot of times people will be on depression medication or anxiety medication and start exercising, and they can tell me, you know what, I don't even need it anymore. It does make a big difference in your natural endorphins and neurotransmitters and stuff like that. So if you can, whether it be low intensity or high intensity, you do want to try to exercise. You could do yoga, you could do Tai Chi, you could do the elliptical walk, however, whatever you like, pick something. And if you got to start with 5 minutes a day, start with 5 minutes a day. But we'd be up to 10 minutes, which is not a deal breaker, for just de-stressing, decompressing, and then some exercise, something constructive. Social support. I think this is huge. Everybody needs someone that they can vent to talk to, confide in. If you do not have someone, I can be that someone for you. Just come see me. But friends, family is huge. You want to have an outlet to be able to kind of unload or talk through, or a sounding board for yourself. So try to make that time, that person, that connection. Everybody needs somebody. And we weren't put here to be solo or to internalize and bottle up everything. Some things you keep to yourself, but like if it's something that's really bothering you, you should have someone you can confide in. I did put this in here. I don't know if it pertains to you guys, but like if you're having issues with housing, which is a huge stressor, then there's some housing resources in that for you here. And just more community financial resources. Assistance through the county for food, heating, energy. more low-income housing information. There's also what's called our employee assistance program. If like, so you don't want to talk to me about it and you wanted to talk to somebody like completely confidential, you get 3 free phone calls a year for any one problem. So let's say you're having a problem with your marriage. You can call and talk to them, a licensed counselor, and you'll get 3 visits for 1 hour. And then let's say you have a problem also with financial issues. You can call about that and get 3 visits a year. Let's say it's just stress and anxiety, you can get another 3. Let's say you have alcohol or drug dependence, you can get another 3. So it's got to be 3 separate, like they're not going to be like your professional long-term marriage counselor, but they can help and direct you if you need it. And we have handouts in that in the front and cards for them. It's just another food pantries place. This is just about grief. So usually with grief, there's a cycle. You start off with like denial, like, oh my goodness. Now, grief doesn't only pertain to the loss of a loved one. It can be the loss of a relationship. It can be the loss of a job. It can be anything that you're grieving a loss of. So first you start off with denial. Then you go through anger, depression, bargaining, and then acceptance. So these are the cycles. Sometimes people get through this really, really quick. Sometimes people stay in one phase a lot longer than others. Like I stayed in the depression phase for like 18 months. And then I went to acceptance, and there's no bargaining. Definitely do recommend grief counseling, like I said. So it doesn't have to only be for the loss of a loved one. If you've lost other things that are near and dear to you, you might want to consider grief counseling. And so that you could like identify the triggers that get you there and know how to cope. Here's some contacts for grief counseling. So, slow down, relax, enjoy life, go outside, take it easy. I always say don't sweat the small stuff and everything's small stuff. Like try not to make things the end of the world. Try to be easygoing. Try to treat people how you want them to treat you in a situation.